Okay, this learning should be also for Zchus for Refuah Shalem or for Yisrael Yosef ben Leah. Okay, we're up to Perek Daled, Mishnah Gimel. Gamliel Eimer. Gamliel says, B'chol yom mispal adam Shemoneh Esrei. We did this one already, I'm sorry. We are up, we are up to, we're up to Perek Hey, Mishnah Aleph. Sorry, the 5th chapter. A person should only get up to daven in a serious state of mind. Hasidim Harishonim, the earlier Hasidim, Hayashayim Sha'achas, they would wait a full hour, Mispalim, and only afterwards would they daven, after they would sit and contemplate about it. In order they could properly direct their thoughts towards Hashem, so they would sit and think about Hashem and davening and for a full hour before they would begin. And then afilu hamelach shal b'shlema, even if a king asks him how he's doing, lo yeshivenu, he should not respond, because when he's davening, he should view himself. He's talking directly to Hashem, to the melech hamalchim lachim, the King of Kings, and he shouldn't interrupt for a human king. And the Gemara again points out over here that it's only a Jewish king who would understand that you're davening, so you can't talk to him. But a non-Jewish king who would be a real concern would kill you to slight his honor. Him you would interrupt for. Is that
Rashi who says that?
I think it's the Gemara. I don't think it's
the Gemara.
Even if there's a snake wrapped around his heel, he shouldn't stop. And again, it's only if it's not a snake that has a real concern would kill him.
I mean, not a poisonous.
Either a non-poisonous snake or a not vicious snake, even if it would be poisonous.
Not poisonous, but they
would be a problem.
You don't want to bite that around you.
Mishnah Beis. We mention the might of rain, the fact that Hashem brings the rain in Krias Shema in the second brach. We say Mashiv HaRuach u'Merid HaGeshem. We just mention the fact that one of the amazing things Hashem does is bring rain. And we actually ask for rain, where we say V'sein Talum Matar Levrach in the 9th bracha. The Havdalah. We say that Hashem on Matzei Shabbos we say Havdalah b'chein das in the 4th bracha. Rabbi Kiva says Omer bracha revius b'fnei atzmi. He says no, you make it its own bracha, and you put it in before you begin Shemoneh Esrei. Rabbi Eliezer says you put it in Modim. Mishnah Gimel. So now the Mishnah is going to discuss indirectly the idea that the Chazal, the rabbis made a set format for the Shemoneh Esrei, and really you shouldn't tamper with it. You should leave it the way it is. Gemara says the problem with adding more things in general to Shemoneh Esrei is if you start giving a longer list of praises of Hashem, the problem is you can never give a complete list. So there's a bit of a taina that if you add 4 or 5 things, so then it seems like that's all there is. Okay, then this Mishnah is going to list certain things that someone might think are good things to add that are even worse than that, and we would stop him from saying them for different reasons. So the Mishnah says, if someone says, God's mercy is so great that he even has mercy on the birds, referring to the fact that there's a mitzvah of shiluach hakain, that you can't take the baby and mother birds together. You have to send away the mother bird and then take the baby birds or the eggs. So that, we're going to list these things, and at the end of the Mishnah we say, where is it? Mishaskin, I say. Someone who says such a thing, we quiet him. So the Gemara explains that there are 2 problems with this statement. One problem is what the Gemara calls you're being matol kina bin Maseches Berachos. You're implying that Hashem plays favorite between different creations. Since the mitzvah of shaliach hakain only applies to birds, you're implying that there's some reason why birds get more mercy than other creatures, which isn't true. So the implied meaning that Hashem has particular mercy on birds is problematic. The other thing the Gemara says is you're attributing the reason to this mitzvah being rachamim, and really the mitzvahs are not rachamim; they're eno el gzeros. So there's a range of explanations of what it means that mitzvahs aren't rachamim; they're only gzeros. The most extreme one here is based on the Zohar, who says in fact the mitzvah of shluach hakain is not to be kind to the mother bird. it's to cause the mother bird pain, and then the references that the Jewish people are compared to a bird, and then when the mother bird has pain, it cries out, and those cries arouse Hashem's mercy on the Jewish people, as though the Jewish people had cried out. So it's in fact possibly the opposite, that the mitzvah of shiluach HaKain, of sending away the mother bird and then it coming back and not finding its babies in its nest, is in fact an act of cruelty, and therefore to say it's rachamim is possibly exactly the opposite of the intent of the mitzvah. Okay, the next two are more simple. Val tov yizkar shemecha. Someone who says your name should be mentioned on good. So again, the problem is it sounds like only when things are good should you mention God's name. When things are bad, you should not attribute them to God, which is obviously a mistake. So we would quiet someone who says that. Or Modim, if someone says thank you, multiple times, also Meshaskenos, we quiet such a person. And the problem with that is if you're repeating the same statement twice, back to back, there's a concern that it looks like you might be worshiping multiple gods and thanking both of them. Therefore, not only is it not advised, but we would actually stop a person from saying that. Someone who was davening before the Amud, so the Chazzan made a mistake. The Chazzan got messed up in the middle of Shemoneh Esrei, he got confused. So Yavar Achar Tachtov. So someone else will come and replace him if the first one is so confused that they just can't continue. And Lo Yehi Sarban Ba'isasha, a person shouldn't be hesitant at that time. And usually it's a good thing to be somewhat hesitant, to not rush to go take the Amud to daven. But if it's in the middle of davening and the Chazzan messed up and everyone's going to have to wait around until we can continue, then it's a good idea to just be quick and go and take it. And minayin humas. So if you take over in the middle of Shemoneh Esrei, where would you start from? Mitchilas habracha shetaba, from the beginning of the bracha that the Chazzan made a mistake in. The Gemara says this is true in the middle 13 brachas, but in the first three or last three brachas, those are, as we know, generally are viewed as a set, and you'd have to go to the beginning of that set. Okay, let's stop here.
So is this